Hey guys, Mike Chen here in Orlando, Florida. This is a very exciting couple of food days because there's a restaurant I've been wanting to go to for a long while now. So if you don't know, there's actually a lot of really good Chinese restaurants, Sichuan restaurants here in Orlando, and one of them just obtained Michelin status, and that's tomorrow. But right now I'm going to a restaurant that some say might be the most authentic, best Thai restaurant outside of Thailand. Let's go check it out. So this Thai restaurant is called SiamZap, and they gained Michelin recognition for 3 of their dishes. The first one is the Nam Tok, then also got the green curry, finally the SiamZap pork ribs. Food is here. First dish is called Nam Tok. It is marinated pork seasoned with herbs, lime juice, and rice powder, and it's slices of pork with what looks like half lean meat and half pure fat. And this thing is just covered in spices and chilies and herbs. I see some basil, and it's sitting on a bed of veg. Some lettuce, onions, cabbage, carrots, cucumber. Oh wow. This is not just out of this world. This is out of this solar system. Thin slices of marinated pork that itself retains so much delicious fattiness and umami. The texture is incredibly tender. And as you chew, that fat just dissolves, leaving this thin coat of fatty flavor mixed with all that delicious spices just tingling on your tongue. They ask you what spice level you want, and typically with Thai dishes, you don't want to say really spicy because they will bring the pain. So I asked for about an 8 out of 10, and this is the perfect spice level. It hurts just the right amount, and the spices, the heat, the citrus from the lime juice goes so well with that rich, fatty part of the pork. And grab a piece with some of the veg. It's so interesting because the roasted rice powder is very significant in this dish. It brings a very nice little bits of crunchy texture as you chew. The veg, of course, adds more to the crunchy texture, also adds a very refreshing element and very aromatic element from the herbs. Incredible. I feel like I'm in Thailand right now. This is exactly how it hurts in Thailand. You take a bite, not too bad. Take another bite, pretty good. A little more pain, but still pretty good. By bite number 7 or 8, this heat absolutely sneaks up on you. 10 out of 10 dish. Incredible. All right, next one, I'm going straight to the fish because I want to make sure this is still crispy. This is the lard crispy fish. So it's a whole fish deep fried. And just like the Nam Tok, it's seasoned with roasted rice powder, lime juice, and herbs. The fish is sliced up and it's covered in the spices and it's just loaded up with herbs and vegetables. Oh yeah. So good. Same flavor as the marinated pork. The fish crunchy outside, toasty inside. Again, that rice powder provides a really wonderful little bits of crunch. And the spices will definitely get to you. This is their #1 recommended fish here in the restaurant. I can definitely see why. This is fried so well. You can just pick out the fins and the tail. A little fish chip. I might have made a very critical mistake in the order I ate these dishes. I ate the really spicy ones first. Or at least I think the really spicy ones. Haven't tried the curry or the rib soup yet, but now I'm starting on the really hot curry and the soup. So these are also gonna bring a temperature element to it. So these are not gonna feel great on my burning tongue. Inside the green curry, eggplants, bell peppers, bamboo shoots, coconut milk, basil. So they make their own curry paste. Oh, this smells ridiculous. Of course, this is another dish that they won Michelin recognition for. Add some curry to my rice. This thing's still really hot. It's not really spicy, but very rich and coconutty. The flavor is phenomenal. I said it was coconutty? No, it's very coconutty with a gentle sweetness and just so much aroma from the eggplant, from the basil, from all the ingredients inside. This is an absolute lake of flavor. The beef is tender, nice crunch from the bell peppers and the bamboo. Eggplant's excellent, but everything revolves around that curry. Close my eyes. I'm in Thailand. Finally, this is the SiamZap pork rib soup. Inside the soup is loaded with ribs, mushrooms, herbs, tomatoes, chilies, and basil. Oh. I love this restaurant. I feel like I'm back in Thailand. These flavors are so authentic. You taste that wonderful lemongrass, the herbs. I mean, just the soup alone, it's a symphony of flavors. Like I said, you taste the lemongrass and then the lime juice. Those two elements alone imparts a very fragrant citrusy note. And the chili peppers adds a wake you up type of heat. Every sip you take of this, it just feels soothing, it feels invigorating. It's just so freaking tasty. Let's try the pork ribs. Ribs are tender, some pieces very fatty. Goes very, very well with a spicy, citrusy soup. This is some of the best Thai food I've had outside of Thailand. The flavors are truly authentic, they're delicious, and they will hurt you like a spicy Thai dish should. This is a phenomenal start to this food trip. All right, let's bring on some more delicious pain. I'll see you in a bit.
The next day.
Good morning. Day 2 of the Orlando Michelin tour, finally here. Chuan Fu. Been wanting to come to this restaurant ever since they opened. And what's funny is that their location right now is actually where one of my other favorite restaurants from Orlando was located. It was a place called Orlando Meats. That was a really, really good place. And now, tune into this place. Just flipping through the menu, there's so many things that are very unique and I want to try. Problem is there's too many things. Like, I love getting the classic Sichuan dishes, but there's some dishes that I don't think I've tried before, like crispy pork knuckle. I want to try that. I also have stir-fried braised pork with green pepper. Never seen that before either. Ton of whole fish. I'm salivating right now. And the prices look very reasonable too. Like a Fuji Fei Pan, usually every time I go to a Sichuan restaurant, this appetizer dish is usually about 17 bucks, $12 here. Shui Zhu Niu, the braised beef, this is usually like a $27, $30 dish, $21 here. Yeah, the prices are very reasonable. Kung Pao chicken, double cooked pork, 15 bucks. Tofu with crab roll, never had that before. Definitely getting that. That's also only $15.99. Oh, they got noodle soups here too. Okay, yeah, that was a lot of dishes. Every page, just dishes just jumped out at me. I haven't been to a Sichuan restaurant in a long time. I'm so excited for this. First couple dishes are here. Whenever I go to a Sichuan restaurant, for me, a true test of how good it is, I try a few classic dishes. This is one of them, Fuji Fei Pian, husband and wife lung slices. Dish, of course, way less harmless than it sounds. It's beef tendon, tripe, and a spicy nummy sauce with scallions and peanuts. One of the most classic Sichuan dishes out there. One of my favorites. Incredible. All the flavors you expect are there. This dish, usually the peppercorn and the chili start hitting you maybe about 10 seconds in. The beef is delicious. The tendon is scrumptious. Tripe. It's my favorite from this dish. The heat is perfect. You definitely taste that numbing feeling from the peppercorn. Beautiful crunch from the cilantro, the scallions, the peanuts. This is a good place. Next, I was told I had to try a noodle dish here. This is the Sichuan cold noodles. Inside some cucumbers, scallions, noodles soaked in chili sauce. I'm sure there's some peppercorns in here as well. Delicious. Great use of the chilies. Oh, there's some nice afterburn on these chilies because the noodles are cold. The heat from the chilies doesn't hit you until a little bit later. really good amount of heat, a little sweet, and of course that signature numminess that only Sichuan food can bring. This I'm really excited about. Another classic dish, hongyou chaoshou. So wontons in chili oil. Looks like very thin wrappers on the wontons, covered in scallions, garlic, and of course just swimming in a bright red pool of hot oil. This is one of the best versions of this dish I've ever had. It's so freaking good. That wrapper, very, very light and thin, delicious, porky filling. And you really want the steak to swim as much as possible in this hot oil before it comes to the surface because it's not overly greasy. The heat is right on. Doesn't overdo it. So much flavor in the sauce. And also just a ton of delicious garlic with just a tiny hit of ginger. I think the sauce will go good with a lot of things, and they definitely do with these wontons. This is probably one of the most interesting dishes I've ever seen at a Sichuan restaurant. This is crab roe tofu. Chunks of tofu with peas and tomatoes, and it's soaked in some sort of sauce that's just loaded. Look, it's orange because of the crab roe. There is definitely a lot of crab roeing here, most likely from local blue crabs. I'm so excited about this. Get out of town with this dish. This is a must try. Absolutely saturated with that delicious crab roe flavor. You don't even have to wonder at all if they put crab roe in there, because they did, and it's a lot. The flavor is very rich and yolky. Works so well with that gentle, tender, silken tofu. It's not an overly aggressively seasoned dish like you would typically find a lot of Sichuan dish flavors to be. Especially paired with the tofu, it feels light, but the flavor, it's immense. It's just all that great natural crabby flavor concentrated in this dish. If you love crab, this is some next level stuff that you'll probably find in a menu in food heaven. Yeah, never had anything like this before. It's a must try. This next dish I am also so excited about. This is the crispy pork knuckle, and it looks very toasty and nice. The skin on top, you can tell right away it is gonna be a crunchette. There's the bone from the knuckle with all that beautiful tendon and cartilage. The meat is on the bottom, and I see a lot of fat right below the skin. Yeah, really crunchy skin from the knuckle. This is definitely deep fried, and they tell me that they marinate this knuckle for a day before they cook it. Look at all that fat. Oh my gosh, look at this piece. That's all scrumptious, melty fat on top. And like I said, the meat is on the bottom. Look at that glistening pork. This falls apart very, very easily. Two different sauces comes with this dish. One is a sweet and sour, and looks like spicy as well, and one is the barbecue. So this one has cumin, sesame, some chilies. Let's dunk it in here first. That is definitely a crunchy skin with all that beautiful melt in your mouth fat right underneath, giving it such a wonderful porky umami. This is the barbecue. This is definitely the sauce I'm gonna like more, with all that cumin, sesame, and chilies. This is my kind of dish. The meat is so tender. When every bite you take, it's rich, it's melty, it's got so much delicious fat rendering all over the place. And the outside, nice and toasty and crunchy. Look at this. This is the knuckle right here that all the meat is carved from. This right here, some tendon and cartilage, some meat right between the bones. Just go ahead and dunk that and into the chilies and cumin. Oh yeah. When I was young, my mom and grandma cooked this, and they just hand me a whole pig's foot, and you just gnaw on that for the rest of the day. Ah, so good. This dish looks divine. This is the classic Chongqing Laziji, Chongqing spicy chicken. Usually you see so many chilies in this dish, not as much chicken. This is complete opposite. All you see is chicken. And you can see the peppercorn, the chilies, they put peanuts in here, some scallions. Oh my gosh. I think this is gonna be really good. Best version of this dish ever. This is some next level Chongqing spicy chicken. The chicken pieces outside is very, very crispy. inside, I don't think I've had Chongqing chicken where the inside is as juicy as this one. Juicy and tender, all that spicy, numbing flavor from the peppercorn and chilies definitely steeped through. There is so much flavor in every single bite of this chicken. And there's so much of the chicken. That's the surprising thing. Absolutely wonderful, 10 out of 10. Oh, so good. 3 more dishes I haven't tried yet. Yeah, I got a table full of food like I said I was gonna do. One is the cumin beef. It is very, very tender pieces of beef. Love the crunch from the onions and that wonderful fragrant aroma from the cilantro. The beef is absolutely as tender as they come. In every bite, you get some chilies, and that just unmistakable aroma from the cumin. Yeah, that's a winner too. I'm trying to get through the rest of the dish before it gets too cold, but I always try to get a fatty beef dish whenever I'm in a Sichuan restaurant. They had like about 3 or 4 different versions of fatty beef dish. I love fatty beef because, well, it's fatty beef. And this is pepper sliced fatty beef. So inside you got some jalapenos, wood ear, there's bean sprouts, there's tons of chilies and peppercorn, and of course, a lot of fatty beef. And this is such a great dish to go with rice. Oh, yeah. Yep. It's so yummy and extremely peppery. Oh wow, this is the most peppery version of this dish I've ever had. Wow, oh, mouth is numb. If you're really into the ma, the numbing sensation of Sichuan cuisine, this bowl's for you. Wow, this might almost borderline be too peppery for me. I don't know, it's because I kind of let this sit in a bowl for about 10 minutes. That's really, really peppery. Ooh, I'll definitely need a lot of rice to get through that. This is the final dish. This is the peppercorn chicken, a cold dish. Love it. Cold chicken, just absolutely infused with peppercorn flavor. Not as strong as the last fatty beef dish. This is just a perfect flavor. It's smoky, it's peppery, a little refreshing crunch too from the scallions and bell peppers. This is absolutely delicious. Pretty much everything here, amazing. I can 100% understand the high praise and the Michelin recognition given to this restaurant after only about 5 months. The food is phenomenal. My favorite Chongqing chicken, best version of that dish I've ever had in my life. Of course, I haven't been to Chongqing, but outside of China, best one I ever had. Spicy wontons, 10 out of 10. Fuji fei pan, oh, the pork knuckles, amazing. Cumin beef is delicious. This pepper chicken is phenomenal. I like the fatty beef. I wish it was a little less peppery, but I do like extreme dishes, and that is very extreme. But when I'm at a Sichuan restaurant, I like dishes that are a little punchy, and that thing definitely socked me in the face. Oh, and the crab roll tofu. That's a must try when you're here. Very unique dish, never had it before. I think because Florida, you get so much of the fresh blue crab roll out of this world. This is a 100% must try place. Came in as soon as they opened for lunch, so the first people here, but I hear at night it's hard to even get a table. This is the best Sichuan restaurant I've ever been to, for sure. Like not even close, especially like I mentioned before, the price. I've never seen a Sichuan restaurant priced this reasonably before, especially for dishes like Chongqing spicy chicken. You never see that much chicken to pepper ratio in the favor of chicken. If you love Chinese food, this is the must try place. I've eaten at Sichuan restaurants, you know, pretty much everywhere in the US, New York, LA, San Francisco, nothing touches this. This is the best place. All right, before everything gets cold, I'm gonna try to eat it all. See you in a bit. Wow, had to take a long break after that delicious lunch. Next place I'm going to, this is gonna be an early dinner. Another Michelin restaurant, Salam Cuisine. This is the giant plate of food that I ordered. So I got a meat and veggie combo platter, more like a combo tray. In the middle, I got yibek tips, which is lamb cooked with seasoned butter, onions, green peppers, tomatoes, all around. And the beef and meat combo is a combination of 9 signature dishes. There's chicken, 2 beef stews, 2 different lentils. Got red lentils, split pea, salad. There's atakatwet, which is cabbage, potatoes, carrots. There's collard greens and scrambled injera as well. So on this plate, 10 different variety of foods. Oh, also homemade cottage cheese. Injera, of course, this is a signature bread from Ethiopia, made with sourdough. And the texture is so spongy and soft. So use this, start with the veggie side. the collard greens, and this is sauteed in ginger, garlic, onions, and jalapeno. Oh man. That's freaking out of this world. I'm just gonna go ahead and add some of the cottage cheese in there. Injera, one of my favorite breads in the world. It's made from tif flour, and it's got such an awesome sourdoughy flavor from the fermented process. And it soaks up juice and spices so well. This whole dish is sitting on top of a giant injera. All right, gotta try this. This is the lamb tips. So this lamb here is cooked in spiced butter, sauteed onions, green peppers, and traditional herbs and spices. And look at that bread soak up all that delicious sauce. Grab some more here. The lamb is buttery, it's spicy, beautiful crunch from the onions and peppers. This time, I'm gonna grab some of the lamb, add some of the collard greens, sprinkle on some of this very nutty cheese. Oh, that's even better. Love the crunch from the collard greens, and also the spices in the lamb. It's so deliciously fragrant, and the sourness from the injera works so well to balance out the richness from the lamb. Like I said, there's two types of beef stew here. One of them is beef Pkwy, which is lean beef, simmered with butter, onions, garlic, ginger, traditional chili powders. And the other one is not spicy, and this is gonna be spicy. The other beef stew, similar ingredients, but not spicy. Wow. That's freaking delicious. Very, very tender chunks of beef, seasoned beautifully. And as you chew, it breaks apart on your tongue, and that spices and the aroma just dances all over your taste buds. And the injera was able to soak up all that wonderful juice and flavor. So this is the Doro tip. So boneless chicken breast, cooked with green peppers, onions, garlic, tomatoes, pretty much all the meats you want, all sitting on one plate. That is a flavorful bite of chicken. And the beauty of this plate is, if you want a little break from the meat side, there's always a refreshing element like the salad or the collard greens. And the awesome thing about this platter, the flavors from the vegetarian side, just as good as the meat side. Some I like even better. Oh man, that split pea is delicious. You can definitely taste all that garlic and turmeric in this dish. The red lentils, a little smoky and spicy. And the cabbage and potatoes bring such nice earthy rustic flavors with a bit of crunch. Also, between bites, take a sip of the herbal tea. I highly recommend getting this. Inside some cardamom, cinnamon, bunch of other herbs. Just incredibly aromatic. And a great palate cleanser too. This is one of my favorite vegetarian Ethiopian dishes. Scrambled injera with peppers and tomatoes, a bunch of different spices cooked in here. It's like flavor concentrate. It's sour, it's got a refreshing crunch from the peppers and burst of sweet juice from the tomatoes. Because injera is probably the best vessel in the world to soak up flavor, that is pure flavor concentrate. And also, what I love is that all the food is served on top of injera, so you're not losing a single drop of gravy, of spices, of flavor. It's all captured on top of this delicious flatbread. I've been wanting to come to this restaurant for about a year now. Everyone in Orlando speaks so highly of this restaurant. And I can definitely see why also everybody here is so incredibly friendly. Yeah, if you never tried Ethiopian food before, this is a fantastic place for it. So after dinner, gotta get a coffee. If you didn't know, coffee originated in Ethiopia. And when you order the coffee, it comes in a beautiful pot and frankincense on the side. Oh wow, there's a lot of flavors in this coffee. It's very fruity, almost citrusy. Yeah, it definitely tastes very acidic. Very fruity, very floral. A beautiful way to end this meal. Finally, dinner. It's at the Plant Street Market. And this is a really cool market with tons of little food stalls. Like there's a brewery, there's pizza, there's popcorn, ice cream. And a tea shop. Mango black tea. Really good. And I am here for this place, Norigami, a Michelin sushi stall with about 8 seats. And you can check what you want to order. I'm gonna go ahead and get the chef's tasting 10-piece omakase meal with a hand roll and soup for $67. Not a bad deal. And what's really interesting about this place is that every single piece, you can get it either as a nigiri, sashimi, a bori, or a temaki. That's really cool. Also, I got a couple of appetizers that they recommended, a popcorn hamachi and a toro carpaccio. So the toro carpaccio pours fatty tuna, Parmesan cheese on top, truffle sauce, there's mustard seeds, there's chili. And what's really interesting about the way they do their appetizers here is that, tadakimasu by the way, all the appetizers are influenced by the other stalls inside this market. So there's a cheese vendor, well, right there, more than cheese. That's how they got the inspiration of putting cheese on the toro. Now look at this, thin slices of tuna, cheese on top. You see the little mustard seeds, there's a little scallions, shaved Parmesan. Let me get a piece with a lot of cheese on here. Look at this. Wow, this looks and smells great. Add a little mustard seed to my tuna. Must get this. This is all sorts of amazing. Everything about this, from the melt in your mouth, fatty pieces of tuna. And I mean melts, like the first snowflake of winter touching the tip of your tongue kind of melts. Full of fatty umami. The cheese adds a lot of nuttiness and earthiness. The mustard seeds, a delightful pop and a bit of acid, and the truffle adds that delightfully rustic aroma to this very, very elegant dish. Incredible. This next dish is popcorn hamachi. So here there's popcorn cream, there's sorghum avocado cream, and there's popcorn on top of this. And the popcorn is, of course, influenced by the popcorn vendor 2 stalls down. And this is beautiful. Looks like a little sunken garden. So hamachi, make sure to get some of the popcorn, dunk it into the avocado cream, and get some of the sorghum as well. Wow. This is a grand slam appetizer. This is definitely the type of dish you'll find at a Michelin restaurant. Everything about it, it's just a wow factor. The light, buttery texture of the hamachi, it's refreshing. Fish is tender, there's nice crunch on the popcorn, and the greens is also rich and creamy, and the flavors just go so well. I mean, this is like Disney fireworks in your mouth. Both of these appetizer dishes are 100% must try if you ever come here. These 2 dishes already set this place apart from other traditional sushi shops. Incredible. First piece is madai. That about takes your breath away. Madai is Japanese sea bream with umeboshi on top. Ume, of course, the salted Japanese plum. That tastes like somebody took spring, like the season, made it into a sushi and served it to you. It's so soft, you taste that wonderful flavor of the plum, and it just makes you feel all warm inside. That's a fantastic starter piece. Second piece, shimaji. On top, scallion puree and a little bit of matcha salt. I have so much regret right now. So I got the 10-piece omakase because I've been eating all day. Should've got a 14-piece. And it's such a great price. 10-piece, 1 hand roll, 1 soup, so 12 courses, $67. I'm gonna tell you right now, come here and eat this. This rivals sushi in Japan. It's better than some of the sushi I had in Japan. This is like Michelin star level sushi. Next is kemadai. And on top, there's yuzu kosho, which is basically citrus pepper. These are some transformative pieces of sushi. On top of the buttery fish, you definitely taste that yuzu. When you bite into it, it's like your taste buds are just bombarded by this light yuzu mist that covers the fish, it covers the rice, and the rice to fish ratio here, amazing. And you barely see the rice. Next piece, isaki. It's a white fish that has 3 lines. That's why they call that 3-line grunt. And on top, there is kimchi yuzu and looks like fried onions. That one's incredible. Everything from the crunchy onions to that tender, mild piece of fish. I love the crunchy texture of the onions, just matches beautifully with that melting in your mouth texture. Next, hamachi, or yellowtail, with soy, ginger, garlic relish on top. Hamachi, had a little preview of that in the appetizer stage. Even better as an nigiri. After that went down the hatch, my mouth starts salivating for more. Next up, king salmon with truffle cream and miso sauce. Of all that's good and melty. I mean, that thing dissolved so quickly. Immediately hit by that fatty, delicious sensation of the melty salmon to smack you in the face. Earthy flavor of the truffles and that burst of umami from the miso. All that combined together, pure flavor essence that just melts in your mouth. Now we're getting to the tunas. A kami with mustard seed. Thing looks like a little crown on top. And it will be very deserving of that crown. And that akami, even though it's lean tuna, melts in your mouth and balanced so well by the mustard seed. First time I think I've ever had mustard seed in sushi before. Genius move. Next one, piece that needs really no introduction, otoro. I mean, what else to say about otoro? Wagyu of the sea, ocean butter, one of the greatest foods on this planet. Next, scallops with fermented hot sauce. That's the most melting in your mouth scallops maybe in existence. This is the first time I've ever seen a nigiri where the scallop is scored, so it breaks apart even easier. And the fermented hot sauce has got this beautiful umami richness to it. And the scallop is naturally sweet, very smoky from the torch. That was an A+ piece. Next piece, cuttlefish. Snappy and sweet, very nice. Next up, shrimp with Cajun mayo. Ridiculously sweet shrimp. It's smoky, and the Cajun mayo, Louisiana will be proud. This is really cool. They said this is a bonus piece, Japanese uni from Hokkaido. So sweet and creamy. That was definitely a highlight to end on. Last piece before the soup, spicy tuna hand roll. So good. Melts in your mouth tuna with a beautiful kick. Of course, the final course, miso soup. This place is really impressive. I mean, every single piece, fresh as can be, every single piece is so innovative, but it doesn't at all cover up the wonderful natural flavors of the fish. I mean, this is as good of a sushi as you'll find anywhere in the world, and it's definitely Michelin level stuff. And for the price they charge, 10 pieces for $67, incredible. Yeah, if you're a sushi lover, this is an absolute must try. Make sure to get a reservation though. Good morning. One last meal before leaving Orlando at 7 Bites. Oh, there's some good looking foods here. So there's chicken and waffles, there's biscuits and gravy. It's gonna be a tough choice. So 7 Bites is a Michelin modern bakery and they serve food with a southern flair. And I got a couple of items for breakfast that I think is gonna be really, really good. So breakfast item number 1 I got is the Pharmacist. This thing is a towering biscuit with a giant piece of fried chicken in the middle, fried egg on top, and the chicken is sitting on top of hash browns casserole, and there's country gravy smothered all over this chicken biscuit sandwich. On the side, a cheddar chive grits. Yeah, my mouth is watering so much right now. Oh my gosh. Gravy looks thick, the biscuit looks crumbly. Cut it open, gooey, runny egg. The chicken looks beautiful. Oh, I totally forgot. There's bacon in here as well. Take a piece with some bacon, some chicken, some hash browns, and gravy and biscuit. This thing is so rich. They could get VIP passes to Disneyland every day of the year. The gravy is delicious, it's rich, it's savory, it's peppery. The chicken is tender, very crispy on the outside. There's just so much richness here. You got the runny yolk, you got that gravy, especially if you take a spoonful of all that and the cheesy hash brown casserole. That's gonna be a very cheesy, satisfying bite. Chive cheddar grits. There's a lot of cheesy, gooey elements on this plate. Yeah, that's delicious too. I mean, everything on this plate is pretty much what you think about hearty country breakfast. And this is as hearty as you can get. I was just gonna get one dish, but I saw this out of the corner of my eye. They had a tuna melt. I said this before, if I see a tuna melt, I gotta get a tuna melt. And this thing looks loaded. It's delicious. So glad I got two of these. But look at this tuna melt. Wow. I mean, this is an absolutely loaded tuna melt between two pieces of thick, buttery, and I mean buttery sourdough toast with melted cheese as well. Giant chunks of tuna with eggs and pickled relish. It's buttery, it's toasty. It's a solid tuna melt. I love how much tuna there is. Gotta say though, the tuna melt at the pastrami project, that's still the standard. Pretty good though. If you do come here, definitely recommend getting the biscuits and gravy. I saw some chicken and waffles around me as well. That looks scrumptious. But yeah, if you want some loaded up Southern food while you're in Orlando, this is the place to go. Well, this should last me for a good part of the day. Orlando has actually become one of my favorite food cities to visit here in the US. There's always new things popping up. It's just a range of delicious foods, from food trucks to Michelin star restaurants to everything in between. And whether you want breakfast, lunch, dinner, super late night dinner, this town's got all of that. Last few days went to a bunch of Michelin restaurants. All incredible. Loved the new Sichuan restaurant. The sushi last night was mind-blowing. If you can't get to Japan and you're in Orlando, go there. The Ethiopian food is good. This is not just a theme park town anymore. And as always, all the places I went to listed down below for you guys. Thank you all so much for watching. Until we eat again, see you later.